Hello, my name is Leo. Welcome to another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today, Evening Star, Book 12, the final book of 2920, the last year of the First Era by Cadillac Townway. What's gonna happen? Let's find out. First, the Suns Dusk, 2920. Battle Morrowind. The winter morning sun glinted through the cobweb of frost on the window, and Amalexia opened her eyes. An ancient healer mopped a wet cloth across her head, smiling with relief. Asleep in the chair next to her bed was Vivek. The healer rushed to a side cabinet and returned with a flagon of water. "How are you feeling, goddess?" asked the healer. "Like I have been asleep for a very long time," said Amalexia. "So you have. 15 days, said the healer, and touched Vivek's arm. "Master, wake up! She speaks!" Vivek rose with a start, and seeing Amalexia alive and awake, his face broke into a wide grin. He kissed her forehead and took her hand. At last there was warmth again in her flesh. Amalexia's peaceful response suddenly snapped. "Sophosy!" "He is alive and well," replied Vivek, "working on one of his machines again somewhere. He would have stayed here too, but he realized he could do you more good working that particular sorcery of his." The castellan appeared in the doorway. "Sorry to interrupt you, master, but I wanted to tell you that your fastest messenger left late last night for the Imperial City." "Messenger?" asked Amalexia. "Vivek, what has happened?" "I was to go and sign a truce with the Emperor." Wait. No, that's still Amalexia. "I was to go and sign a truce with the Emperor on the 6th, so I sent him..." No, that is Vivek. "I was to go and sign a truce with the Emperor on the 6th, so I sent him word that it had to be postponed." "You can't do me any good here," said Amalexia, pulling herself up with effort. "But if you don't sign that truce, you'll put Morrowind back into war. Maybe for another 80 years. If you leave today with an escort and hurry, perhaps you can get to Imperial City only a day or two late." "Are you certain you don't need me?" asked Vivek. "I know that Morrowind needs you more." 6th of Suns Dusk. 2920, Imperial City, Cyrodiil. The Emperor Remnant III sat on his throne, surveying the audience chamber. It was a spectacular sight. Silver ribbons dangled from the rafters, burning cauldrons of sweet herbs simmered in every corner. Pyodarian swallow rat tails, bird, sweeping through the air, singing their songs. When the torches were lit and servants began fanning the room. Began fanning, sorry. The room would be transfigured into a shimmering fantasy land. He could smell the kitchen already, spices and roasts. The Potentate Vestrov Shai and his son, Savrian Chorak, slithered into the room, both bedecked in the headdress and jewelry of the you can do it. Sassixi. Good enough. There was no smile on their golden face, but their solemn was one. The Emperor still greeted his trusted advisor with enthusiasm. "This ought to impress those savage dark elves," he laughed. "When are they supposed to arrive?" "A messenger just arrived from Vivek," said the Potentate somberly. "I think it would be best if your Imperial Majesty met him alone." The Emperor lost his laughter, but nodded to his servants to withdraw. The door then opened, and the Lady Corda walked into the room. With a parchment in her hand, she shut the door behind her, but did not look up to meet the Emperor's face. The messenger gave this letter to my mistress? Said Remen, incredulous, rising to take the note. That's a highly unorthodox way of delivering a message. But the message isn't... How many female voices can you do? One. But the message itself is very unorthodox, said Corda, looking up into his one good eye. With a single blinding motion, she brought the letter up to the Emperor's chin. His eyes widened, and blood poured down the blank parchment. Why is blood? Not sure. Blank, that is, except for a small black mark, the sign of the Moring tongue. It fell to the floor, revealing the small dagger hidden behind it, which she now twisted, severing his throat to the bone. The Emperor collapsed to the floor, gasping soundlessly. How long do you need? Asked Severin Churak. 5 minutes, said Corda, wiping the blood from her hand. If you can give me 10, though, I'll be doubly grateful. Very well, said the Protodette to Corda's back as she raced from the audience chamber. She ought to have been an Akavari. The way the girl handles the blade is truly remarkable. I must go and establish an alibi, said Severin Churak, disappearing behind one of the secret passages that only the Emperor's most trusted knew about. Do you remember, close to a year ago, your Imperial Majesty? The Protodette smiled, looking down at the dying man. When you told me to remember, you Akavari have a lot of shadowy moves, but if just one of our strikes come through, it's all over for you. I remember that, you see. The Emperor spat up blood and somehow said the word, Snake! Snake! Nice. I am a snake, your Imperial Majesty, inside and out. But I didn't lie. There was a messenger for Vivek. It seems he'll be a little late in arriving. The Protodette shrugged, before disappearing behind the secret passage. Don't worry yourself. I'm sure the food won't go bad. The Emperor of Tamriel died in a pool of his own blood, in his empty audience chamber, decorated for a grand ball. He was found by his bodyguard 15 minutes later. Corda was nowhere to be found. Well, that's the end of that. Is this the end of the era? I forget what the second era is called. This is the second era. No, this is the end of the first era. Yeah, it is. If we were talking about the end of the second era, we'd be hearing stories about Tiber Septim and whatnot, because, when he conquered Tamriel, that's when the second... Whatever, keep going. Sorry. 8th of Suns Dusk, 2920. Kael Silvo, Cyrodiil. Lord Glavis, apologizing profusely for the quality of the road through the forest, was the first emissary to greet Vivek and his escort as they arrived. A string of burning globes decorated the leafless trees surrounding the villa, bobbing in the gentle but frigid night breeze from within. Vivek could smell the simple feast and a high, sad melody. It was a traditional you can do it, Akaviri wintertide carol. Vestital Shaye greeted Vivek at the door. Oh my god, I'm going to do his voice, aren't you? I'm glad you received a message before you got all the way to the city, said the Protodette, guiding his guest into the large, warm drawing room. We're in a difficult transition time, and for the moment, it is best not to conduct our business at the capital. There's no heir? Asked Vivek. No official one, though there are distant cousins vying for the throne. While we sort the matter out, at least temporarily, the nobles have decided that I may act in the office of my late master. Vestal Chayet signaled for the servants to draw 2 comfortable chairs in front of the fireplace. Would you feel most comfortable if we signed the treaty officially right now, or would you like something to eat first? You intend to honor the Emperor's treaty? I intend to do everything as the Emperor, said the potentate. 14th of Suns Dusk, 2920, Teleroon, Morrowind. Cordra, dusty from the road, flew into the Night Mother's arms. For a moment they stayed, locked together, the Night Mother stroking her daughter's... Oh! Really? The Night Mother stroking her daughter's hair, kissing her forehead. Finally, she reached into her sleeve and handed Corda a note. What is it? Asked Corda. A letter from the potentate expressing his delight at your expertise, replied the Night Mother. He's promised to send us payment, but I've already sent him back a reply. The late Empress paid us enough for her husband's death. Mafula would not have us be greedy beyond our needs. You should not be paid twice for the same murder, so it is written. He killed Raja, my sister, said Cordra quietly, and so it should be that you struck the blow. Where will I go now? Whenever any of our holy workers becomes too famous to continue the crusade, we send them to an island called Vanulula. It is not more than a month's voyage by boat, but I've arranged for a delightful estate for your sanctuary. The Night Mother kissed the girl's tears. You meet many friends there, and I know you will find peace and happiness at last, my child. 19th of Suns Dusk, 2920, Mournhold, Morrowind. Amalexia surveyed the rebuilding of the town. The spirit of the citizens was truly inspirational, she thought, as she walked among the skeletons of new buildings standing in the blackened, shattered remains of the old. Even the plant life showed a remarkable resilience. There was life yet in the blasted remains of the cranberry and rue bush shrubs that once lined the main avenue. She could feel the pulse. Come springtime, green would bolt through the black. The Duke's heir, a lad of considerable intelligence and sturdy Dunmer courage, was coming down from the north to take his father's place. Wonder what his name is. What if it's the guy from Morrowind? Probably not. The land would do more than survive. It would strengthen and expand. She felt the future much more strongly than she saw the present. Of all the things she was most certain of, she knew that Mournhold was forever home to at least one goddess. 22nd of Suns Dusk, 2920. The Imperial City, Cyrodiil. Hold on, I need a drink. The Cyrodiil line is dead, announced the potentate to the crowd gathered beneath the speaker's balcony of the Imperial Palace. But the Empire lives. The distant relatives of our beloved Emperor have been judged unworthy of the throne by his trusted nobility, who advised his Imperial Majesty throughout his long and industrious... You can do it. Illustrious, thank you, reign. You were right the first time, yeah, I know. It has been decided that as an impartial and faithful friend of Remnant III, I will have the responsibility of continuing in his name. The Akavari paused, allowing his words to echo and translate into the pulse. Into the ears of the populace. They merely stared up at him in silence. The rain had washed through the streets of the city, but the sun, for a brief time, appeared to be offering a respite from the winter storms. So, hold on. Akavari is going to become the emperor? Is that what the whole second empire was all about? Sure. I want to make it clear that I am not taking the title emperor, he continued. I have been, and will continue to be, the potentate Vestal Chayet, an alien welcomed kindly to your shores. It will be my duty to protect my adopted homeland, and I pledge to work tirelessly at this task until someone more worthy takes the burden from me. As my first act, I declare that in commemoration of this historical moment, beginning on the 1st of Morning Star, we will enter Year 1 of the Second Era, as time will be reckoned. Thus we mourn the loss of our imperial family and look forward to the future. Only one man clapped at these words. King Drozel of Senchel truly believed that this would be the finest thing to happen in Tamriel in history. Of course, he was quite mad. The 31st of Suns Dusk 2920. The end of our story. The final day of the first era. Ebonheart Morrowind. In the smoky catacombs, beneath the city where Thessacy forged the future with his arcane clockwork apparatus, something unforeseen happened. An oily bubble seeped from a long trusted gear and popped. Immediately, the wizard's attention was drawn to it, and to the chain that tiny action triggered. A pipe shifted half an inch to the left. A thread skipped. A coil rewound itself and began spinning in a counter direction. A piston that had been thrusting left-right for millennia suddenly began shifting right-left. Nothing broke, but everything changed. "It cannot be fixed now," said the sorcerer quietly. He looked up through a crick in the ceiling into the night sky. It was midnight. The Second Era, the Age of Chaos, had begun. And that was Evening Star, Book 12 of 2920, The Last Year, The First Era, by Kalivak Townway. I hope you've enjoyed this series. It was a good series. I liked it. I don't know if I like A Dance with Fire better than this. This certainly has a good... the thing I like about this series is that, and I've mentioned it a few times, and I shouldn't really liken it to Game of Thrones, but it has that quality of Game of Thrones where there are many different stories, many different threads, all happening at the same time, and every now and again they cross. Like Tulada and Cassia, and even what's her name, Corda and the Night Mother. Who would have thought? It took my breath away, literally. All right. Well, I don't know what we're going to be reading next, but when we read it, we'll be reading it, and I hope you'll enjoy me. I hope you join me then. For now, my name is Leo, and I'll see you next time.